If you think you watched Brock Lesnar retire at WrestleMania 42, then Roman Reigns just proved that you and every single person inside Allegiant Stadium got played, and what he said about it will completely change the way you look at everything that happened that night. Let's go back to Las Vegas, Nevada, night 2 of WrestleMania 42, because the opening match of the evening was something that nobody in that building or watching at home was prepared for. Omos, the 27-year-old Nigerian giant who has been absolutely dominating WWE since bursting onto the scene, stepped into the ring with the most dangerous man in the history of professional wrestling, Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate himself. The match was short, brutal, and shocking. It barely crossed the 5-minute mark. Omos no-sold an F5 like it was nothing, fired right back with a thunderous chokeslam, and put Lesnar away clean in the middle of the ring with his devastating fall of grace powerbomb. A legitimate, undeniable victory for a young star who just made the biggest statement of his entire career. But here is the thing. The match ending was not what left the entire wrestling world speechless. What happened after the bell rang was the moment that stopped time. Brock Lesnar did not walk to the back the way he always does. He did not storm up that ramp with that familiar intensity radiating off of him. Instead, he sat quietly in the corner of the ring and slowly, deliberately, began to remove his gloves. Then he reached down and unlaced his boots one eyelet at a time. He placed them both in the center of the ring, stood up, looked out at 60,000 people who had absolutely no idea what they were watching, and embraced Paul Heyman with what appeared to be genuine tears in his eyes. Then he walked up the ramp, turned, and waved goodbye to the sold-out crowd as they erupted into a thunderous "Thank you, Lesnar" chant that echoed through every corner of that stadium. It looked like the end of an era. It felt like the end of a generation. And the entire wrestling world mourned like they had just watched something they could never get back. Then the next morning arrived, and everything started to unravel. Backstage reports began leaking almost immediately after Raw went off the air the following night. Dave Meltzer reported that people inside WWE believe Brock Lesnar has not actually retired. According to those reports, he is expected to officially retire at some point this year, but what the world witnessed at WrestleMania 42 was never intended to be that moment. The plan that had been discussed for months was for Lesnar to have his retirement match at SummerSlam in Minneapolis, his hometown, in front of a crowd that has watched him become a legend. That was always the money match, the emotionally resonant send-off that a career like his deserves. And according to everything coming out of the WWE locker room, that plan has not changed. So what was that moment in Las Vegas? What were the boots in the center of the ring? What were the tears and the hug and the wave goodbye? It was a work. A beautifully constructed, emotionally devastating, masterfully executed piece of professional wrestling theater designed to make every single one of us believe something that was not entirely true. And nobody understands that better than Roman Reigns. Fresh off his own WrestleMania moment, a grueling 34-minute war against CM Punk that ended with the tribal chief standing tall as the new world heavyweight champion, Roman Reigns was asked backstage about what he thought of Brock Lesnar's apparent retirement. He did not get emotional. He did not offer respect or kind words about a man who helped define an era. He laughed. And then he said something that cut straight through every carefully constructed narrative WWE had been building all weekend. Brock Lesnar does not retire in the opening match of WrestleMania, Reigns said with the kind of knowing confidence that only comes from someone who has been inside this business long enough to recognize a story being told. The Beast does not leave his boots in the ring for a rookie he could have beaten on any other night. That was a statement. That was a message. Omos retired him, please. Brock Lesnar will be back at SummerSlam, and when he comes back, we will finally find out who the real ruler of WWE is. Let that sink in for a moment, because what Roman Reigns just did goes so much deeper than a simple trash talk moment before a future match. He positioned himself at the center of the most compelling story heading into the summer. He acknowledged publicly what the insiders have been whispering privately. He called the retirement a lie and put himself directly in the path of a man who, when he does return, is going to be coming for someone. And Roman Reigns just made sure that someone is him. There are layers here that are worth paying close attention to. Triple H went on record after WrestleMania saying that he did not believe Lesnar's ringside moment was a planned retirement, that the Beast simply walked into a wall named Omos and realized on some level that the time had come. That is what the company wants the narrative to be. That is the story being sold to the audience. But Roman Reigns is the ultimate insider. He has navigated more political chess matches in that locker room than almost anyone alive. He knows how this business works from the inside out, and he is telling you directly that the fix is in. Brock Lesnar will be back. And when Lesnar does return, do not expect him to walk back through that curtain quietly. The history between Lesnar and Reigns alone is enough to fill a highlight reel that would run for hours. Historic WrestleMania main events, violent brawls that pushed both men to their absolute limits, moments that genuinely defined what this era of professional wrestling looked like at its peak. If Lesnar crashes back into the World Heavyweight Championship picture at SummerSlam, the collision course is already set, and Roman Reigns just volunteered himself as the first man standing in the way. But then there is Omos to consider, and you cannot sleep on what the Nigerian giant represents in all of this. He already confronted Roman Reigns after Raw in what has become one of the most talked about backstage moments in recent memory, standing in a parking garage and delivering his now iconic foreword warning directly to the new champion. Your ruler has arrived. Omos is not done. He earned a legitimate victory over Brock Lesnar, and he wants the world to understand that the throne has a new candidate. If Lesnar returns and Roman Reigns survives long enough to still be champion, you are looking at the possibility of a three-way collision between the Beast, the Tribal Chief, and the Ruler. That is not just a main event, that is a generational moment waiting to happen. So here is where everything stands right now. Brock Lesnar left his boots in the center of the ring at WrestleMania 42 and made 60,000 people cry. WWE sold the retirement merchandise, aired the tribute packages, and let Paul Heyman stand in the ring and eulogize his greatest client. And then Roman Reigns walked in front of a camera and called the whole thing what it is: a work, an illusion, a masterpiece of professional wrestling misdirection. The Beast is not done, the story is not over, and the road to SummerSlam just became the most interesting stretch of television in WWE in a very long time. So here is what I want to know from you. Did Brock Lesnar genuinely have a retirement moment inside him at WrestleMania, and Roman Reigns is simply playing the long game by denying it? Or is the Tribal Chief right, and everything we witnessed that night was exactly what it appeared to be to those paying close enough attention, a carefully planned piece of storytelling? And if Lesnar does come back at SummerSlam, who is the right opponent? Does he go after Omos for revenge and close the chapter on the man who pinned him? Does he finally get the Gunter match that was originally supposed to be the ultimate retirement story? Or does he go straight for Roman Reigns and the World Heavyweight Championship in a feud that writes itself? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I genuinely want to hear where you stand on this. And if you want to stay ahead of every development, every backstage report, every twist and turn on the road to SummerSlam, then make sure you are subscribed to Wrestling Juice, hit that notification bell, and keep coming back, because after what Roman Reigns just said, none of us are fully prepared for what is coming next.